Now there are several questions we want to follow up with so we can answer the ultimate question, which is what was the rainfall rate, the average rainfall rate for that 15-second sample? What was the average rainfall rate per hour? How many inches of rain would fall in an hour? Okay, well, let's come back a little bit. First of all, I'm going to give you the information that 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. So the first question I want you to answer, very analogous to the question we asked about the tiles on the floor of the lab, is how many 1 millimeter square tiles would it take to cover a 2 centimeter by 2 centimeter square? Okay, once we get that answer, we can answer, hopefully, how many 1 millimeter cubes it would take to fill a 2 centimeter by 2 centimeter, quote, room to a depth of 6 millimeters. Now I say a room because I want you to think back in terms of what we did in the classroom in order to answer this. Okay, because we figured out how many tiles, we figured out how many blocks and stuff like that. So you're going to have to kind of go back to your image of that. I don't want to give you too much information because I want you to think it through. Then, if I gave you 1,000 1 millimeter cubes and you stack them carefully so there's no space between them, how deep could you fill that 2 centimeter by 2 centimeter, quote, room? Okay. How deep would it be? Then, if you could stack 12 1 millimeter cubes every minute, how deep could you fill that, quote, room in an hour? Now, once you understand these questions, and I recommend that you do things like, draw pictures. Okay, so draw pictures. Write out your thinking. Etc. I want you to really confront these questions. If you can understand these, and I think most of you will, if you think about them, then we come back to the picture. And we're going to assume that the rectangles, the red rectangles that are part of your picture, are actually 2 centimeter by 2 centimeter squares. Okay, now they're close. They're about 2 centimeters wide. I'm not sure I got the height right because I didn't have a scale to go by. But let's make that assumption that these are really squares, and you're not too far off if you do that. Then the question is, how deep would the water be in that room if you put all the rain that fell on a 2 by 2 square centimeter square, 2 centimeter by 2 centimeter square, in an hour? Now you have done calculations, you've done estimates of water diameter and volume estimates and stuff, so you know how much water, according to your estimates, fell in 15 seconds. So you're going to have to use that somehow to answer this question. And the answer requires thinking similar to the thinking you would do to answer these questions. And then the other question. Now this question forces you to make a little bit of a jump, as does this one. What therefore is the average rate of rainfall in inches per hour? Now there's some information that you might or might not know. Okay, typically students don't remember that information. Even students who are in STEM areas don't seem to remember the basic information. But there is a bit of basic information that you're going to need to know in order to answer this question, assuming you've been able to answer this question. So these questions are going to require a little more thought. These are going to require some thought. You got to visualize the thing, maybe draw pictures, write out your thinking, and so forth. But we want to answer these questions, and this is, along with everything else, what I want to see in the assignment for Monday. I want you to hand me in your best thinking, your best estimates.